Singapore is known as one of Southeast Asia's most expensive countries. But in this video, we're going to show you that a trip to Singapore doesn't have to cost you a small fortune.
Let me show you what I mean.
We've been here 5 times over this past 3 years, and every time we come, we find more and more free activities to do in this incredible country.
So we've put together a list of our top 15 free things to do here in Singapore. And we're going to start today's video where your trip is probably going to begin, and that's the Singapore Changi Airport.
But more specifically at the Jewel, which is this area right behind me, which is home to the tallest indoor waterfall in the entire world, the Rain Vortex, which is right here. This place is incredible, and as you can see, it's no normal airport. It's estimated that the Jewel cost over 1.7 billion Singaporean dollars to build, and it gets 300,000 visitors per day. So just be prepared that whenever you do come to visit this area, it's gonna be pretty busy. It's also home to over 300 different retail stores and restaurants, situated over 10 different levels. It's got activity zones, interactive areas, nature walks, and loads more going on here. And you can freely just come here and walk around the entire area, do a wee bit of window shopping as well. And this is definitely one not to be missed. I've also just timed the trip here perfectly today because the choir has just started singing right in front of the waterfall.
What goes like the water.
And whenever you're at the airport, why not head next to go and check out some dinosaurs? And yes, you heard that correctly, some dinosaurs. Just outside Terminal 4 of the airport, they have got Changi's Jurassic Mile, which is a 3.5 long kilometre stretch of pathways where you can walk, run or cycle with 20 life-size dinosaur statues throughout the whole path. And the whole way along it as well, there's loads of different information where you can learn about the dinosaurs. It is completely themed and such a cool attraction, not just for the kids, but also for the adults out there. The Jurassic Mile is open 24/7, so it doesn't matter what time of the day you decide to come here. But if you do decide to come in the evening time, all of the pathway and all of the dinosaurs are completely eliminated. The Singapore Botanical Gardens is one of 3 main gardens here in the country and is the only tropical garden to be honoured as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The place is beautiful and massive. It spans over 200 acres, is home to over 10,000 different types of plants, and has tons of wildlife like monitor lizards, turtles, tropical fish, tropical birds, and of course a few Singaporean chickens running around as well. Can't see you with umbrella at all. It is also home to the National Orchid Garden and a really cool children's activity play garden. However, we can't really tell you too much about it because unfortunately we weren't allowed in. It is literally only for kids and there was guys stopping us from going in, so we can't really say too much about it. Even though I may act like a child sometimes, unfortunately I wasn't accepted as a child. One of them things, isn't it? But you can come here anytime between 5 AM and 12 midnight when the park closes. A trip to Little India is a full cultural experience, and it feels like you've literally gotten a plane and flew out of Singapore. The streets of Little India are packed full of colourful buildings, amazing smells, loads of local style Indian restaurants, and of course loads of art and murals like these on the walls right behind me. They are so interesting to see. And of course there's also lots of Hindu temples which you can visit around the Little India area. Just make sure that if you are going into them, be respectful, and I would definitely encourage you to come here and pick up some street food whenever you're walking around the streets here because it's just amazing. Whether you've been to India before or you haven't, you definitely don't want to miss this one.
And then you want to make your way over to Arab Street where you can get a taste of the Middle East.
Arab Street is a colourful district lined with traditional shophouses offering a mix of Middle Eastern, Malay and local goods, and it's famous for its textile shops, handmade perfumes and intricate carpets. As you stroll through the streets, you'll discover the beautiful mosques, including the iconic Sultan Mosque with its golden dome, a true symbol of Singapore's multicultural spirit. The area has such a wide range of quirky bars and restaurants and of course vintage stores, and it's truly a part of Singapore like no other.
Bugis Street is definitely one of the more touristy areas here in the city, but it's a 3-story shopping complex with literally everything that you can imagine. There's loads of clothes, shoes, and all of the souvenirs that you might want to pick up while you're here in Singapore. And shopping in Singapore can be a little bit more of an expensive thing to do. So if you do want to pick up any bits and pieces on your trip, this is the most affordable place to do so. But if you are thinking of coming here and just going for a walk around, you can easily put in a few hours hiding away from the sun and getting a wee nosy. This is the waterfront promenade, and right in front of it sits the Marina Bay itself. And here you can see most of the iconic images that you think of when you think of Singapore. You've got the Marina Bay Hotel, you've got the business district back there with all of the huge big buildings, you've got the Merlion, which is basically Singapore's mascot, and on either side of this area you've got the Jubilee Bridge and you've got the Helix Bridge as well. And in our opinion, one of the best free things to check out in this area is actually the outdoor theatre, and you can see so many free performances here. You can check the schedule online, but we've been lucky enough to catch a lot of free performances just by showing up. And we have seen rock bands, we've seen jazz bands, and there's an Indian youth choir practicing at the moment. So needless to say, there is plenty to see and do here. Things you see in Singapore.
The Gardens by the Bay is one of Singapore's most iconic locations, and the main reason this place is so popular is because of the SuperTree Grove, which is this area you can see right behind me, made up of 50-foot tall man-made tree sculptures that are so futuristic and so impressive to come and see for yourself. You can't come to Singapore without visiting the Gardens by the Bay, you just have to do it. But the Gardens isn't just about the super trees. There's so much more going on here, from the flower dome to the cloud, cycle and running paths, outdoor gyms, there's an exotic aquarium, there's lakes you can go walk around, and some incredibly interesting art sculptures as well. The place is beautiful to come and just spend a few hours having a wee bit of a dander about. But the main reason we believe this is probably the best free attraction here in Singapore is because twice a day, every single day of the week, the super trees put on a fully free light and sound performance that is truly magical.
And when you're visiting the Marina Bay, you have to come to the very luxurious shopping centre that is the Shoppy. It has all of the big brands that you can think of, and it is luxury upon luxury. So it's the perfect place to come and have a little nosy and a wee window shop. But this place is so luxurious. It has Stone Canal running right through the middle that you can go for a wee cruise, and it has its very own theatre and nightclub.
So you're going to want to spend your evening in the Marina Bay as well, or come back and revisit it at a different stage. And that's because every evening, twice an evening, there is a free light and water performance put on called the Spectra, and this is done by the Marina Bay Sands, and it is wicked. It's a performance that lasts around 15 minutes in the bay itself. You can either stand outside the shopping mall and watch it with the backdrop of the downtown area and all the amazing big buildings of Singapore, or you can go over to the other side of the bay where the Merlion is and watch the performance there with the backdrop of the Marina Bay Sands. It's stunning regardless, and you definitely should pair this one along with the Gardens by the Bay SuperTree performance. You can go and see this one and then make your way back over here, which is about a 20 or 30 minute walk depending on your speed, and see this one as well, because both these performances happens twice an evening as we said, so you have no issue of squeezing them both in. Whether you're into history, art or science, Singapore has amazing museums covering them all that you can visit completely for free. Some of the free museums in the city are the National Museum of Singapore, where you can explore the island's rich past, the Singapore Art Museum, where rotating exhibitions showcase incredible local and international artists, Reflections at Bukit Chandu, a hidden gem telling the story of World War II heroism in Singapore, and the Indian and Malay Heritage Centres, both offering a deep dive into Singapore's diverse cultures. You can also check out some of the free exhibitions at the Science Centre Singapore on special days, all without spending a single cent.
I bet you didn't know that Singapore has its very own free theme park. Now, it's not a theme park filled with roller coasters and rides. Instead, this theme park is based all around Chinese literature, and it is filled with over 1,000 very, very interesting statues. Let me show you what I mean. Even though the theme park is free to come and see and walk around, there is a paid museum that you can come and visit once you're inside. It's called the Hells Museum, and it sounds quite interesting, but after all, we're making a video about free things to do in Singapore, so we're going to give it a miss for today.
Something that surprised us when we first found out about it is that Singapore also has beautiful tropical beaches. Something we didn't expect in a place that is so built up and so kind of futuristic, such a major city. But some of the beaches here are beautiful, and the best one to go and check out is Palawan Beach on Sentosa Island. This beach is gorgeous. The sand is soft and fluffy on your feet, lovely and white, really clean, and you can also go swimming in the sea, which you can't do in a lot of places around Singapore because the water normally isn't too great. You can sit on the beach and you can look out over all of the cargo ships going by, transporting goods in and out of Singapore as well, and it's really unique and just a cool thing to go and check out. You don't often see like lovely tropical beaches and then like loads of cargo ships out in the distance, so this is a pretty interesting thing to see as well. Sentosa is beautiful. It's a resort island and there's loads to do here. However, the beach probably is one of the only free activities to do, but it's definitely still worthwhile going to see for yourself. So I've already told you about Singapore's two main parks, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but this next one is personally my favourite. This is the East Coast Park, and it is Singapore's largest park, stretching the whole way from the Marina Parade right to Changi Airport. The place is massive and there's so much going on. From incredible play parks for the kids, cafes and restaurants to go and grab a coffee or a bite to eat, extreme skate parks, bicycle paths, beautiful walkways, outdoor classrooms, indoor and outdoor gyms, water features and so much more. You can put a lot of time into this park, and it is the perfect place to come for a family day out, or if you want to come and do a bit of exercise as well. You can actually rent bicycles here, which is one of my favourite things to do in the park. Now that is obviously a paid thing you have to do. You can actually get tandem bikes and also like wee kind of chart bikes that you can get the whole family in and you can paddle along. You can rent rollerblades, skateboards. If it rolls and goes, you can rent it here. Now, that isn't a free activity to do in the park, but most of the other things are free to do, and even if you don't want to do anything and you want to come and just walk around, lie down in the grass, chill out on the man-made beaches, this is a perfect place to spend a bit of your day. And I bet you also didn't know that Singapore has its very own natural hot spring park. Now, don't get too excited. It's not a full-blown hot spring that you can get in and sit and bathe. It's only a foot bath, but it's still a really cool location. It's also a very local location. It is not touristy at all. We're the only foreigners that's actually here. And there's a lot of local people that have brought their own buckets and their own kind of pop-up bath areas, and they're having a wee scrub and a wee wash down at the side of the main hot spring pool. The water is natural hot spring water, and it's like 45 degrees, the one you sit in, but the area where you actually sit to bathe your feet is like a concrete kind of pool area. So it's not very natural looking, but it is a super cool location, and the name of this place is the Sembawang National Hot Spring Park.
They even have an egg cooking station, and the water coming out of this section is 70 degrees.
Unfortunately, we forgot to bring some eggs today, so no eggs for us.
So there you have it, that's 15 free things to do here in Singapore, one of the most expensive countries in all of Asia. And it just goes to show that you don't have to break the bank to visit this country. And I'm sure there's plenty of free things that we missed out, so if there was, please let us know down in the comments and we'll see you in the next one.